Hi everybody, my name is Shelley and I'm with the Mornville Community Library, and this month I'm going to be doing the adult Christmas craft, or creativity craft. And what we're going to end up making is a Christmas gnome. And in your bag you've got all your supplies, except for a low temp glue gun. So if you have a low temp glue gun or are able to pick one up at, say, the local dollar store, and that you'll find that extremely helpful. Those that don't have one and don't have an opportunity to pick up another glue gun, you could try the glue stick. I think this would certainly be the stickiest option rather than the liquid glue. And I think you will have some success with this. It's just going to take a bit longer drying time. So the supplies that you have in the kit for this gnome, we're kind of repurposing Halloween to Christmas, is you've got one of these frames here that we're going to create into the Christmas gnome. You've got a bundle of mop strings that we've put in there, a fabric piece for your hat. In the little baggie here, you're going to have some accessories that we're going to be decorating the hat with. And each bag has a little bit of something different in it. And then you're going to have a nose. And then there's going to be some sort of an accent that we're going to end up putting up by the top of the hat. The other item that you have in your bag is going to be the brim of your hat there. So that's all the supplies that are in your kit and should be ready to go. So with your frame here, what we're going to do is we're going to keep the tinsel on the top of it. That's going to help shape out the hat a little bit, but what we are going to do is we're going to deconstruct the lower part. And what I've found is, like, the tinsel is just wrapped around some of these other hooks on here. So if you find the most very edge piece that's on here, get some scissors into there and separate that, you'll see that it's just kind of wrapped around some of these hooks that are on here. This one's probably going to be a bit more difficult, and you can just start unwrapping. So I'll show you on this one here that I started. Pull off the eyes and the mouth that was on there, and then in this upper part again there are some little loops that are there. So all you need to do is just lift the black tinsel there a little bit to expose these loops, and just continue to start deconstructing that part. Some are easier than others. And that's what you're left with. We'll get that out of the way here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our mop strings, and there should be just enough on there to fill up your frame. And what we are going to do is we are going to fold these in half. And on the grid here, we've got several different grids that are here, and we're going to put approximately 3 strands into each of these grids here. And then the next grid, we're going to skip this one here, and we're going to go right up to this next one here. So I'll show you how we're putting these on. So in this first grid, go up underneath. You've got your loop. Put your strings through. And we want to just pull that snug. And we'll do that again. Create your loop. Pull your strings through and continue through. Some of your strings you're going to find are going to be a little bit thinner than others, so if you can kind of stagger some of the thin ones with some thicker ones, that'll give you a bit more of a nice full effect. So that's the beginning of that one, and I'm going to continue all the way across. Alright, so we've got the bottom row on here. So again, in each segment here we've looped on 3 strings, so you've got a total of 12 on that bottom row, and then we're skipping a row and we are going up to this next one here. So we're going to do the exact same thing, is we're going to loop 3 of the mop strings into each segment until we get all the way across there. And then we'll do a little bit of filling in for these other parts. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to fill these up. Next thing we're going to do, because we've got a little bit of this bar showing, is we're going to fill in a little bit of these guys as well. So what I found the best to do is to go up here kind of where it's coming across, and that where you've got like an X or a cross there, and we are going to put one loop on that one, and then we're going to go up. Whoops, yeah, that's where I want it. And then we're just going to fill in another one just above that as well. And those are just going to fill in there a little bit more. Then we'll go over to the very center one, and we are going to put this one where the cross is. Fill that in across there. This one here will just go up above, because these are going to cover the lower ones here. And then let's go to this last bar. Oops. And where the cross is, we'll put this guy in. It's a nice big thick one, those are nice. One more up above it. And then what we could do here with, there'll be a couple of extra ones. We can bring it over to the edge here. And we can just cover one of these side loops here. And we can do the same here on the other side. And then I purposefully put in an extra one, and you can decide if you want to just pop it in somewhere or if you want to use it for the back for the loop. It's completely up to you. So right now this is what we're looking at here with all these strings on. So the next part that we're going to do here is we are going to pull up these guys here, and we are going to separate these strings to help fill it out a bit more and really make it look like a beard. Let's pull these guys up. There we go. So what you're going to do next, just going to take your time and just start unrolling these guys. And I find if you keep it a bit taut, you're less likely to get it kind of knotted up. And you can sometimes separate part of it on the lower and then go up. And then there's that guy. And then there's that guy. So if you don't keep it taut, they do tend to get knotted up. So I found loosening a bit of the lower part and then going up a bit higher, separating into 2 and 2, and then separate those guys as well. So it looks like he's got a nice curly beard. So we are going to do that with all of the strands that are on here. So we're down to the last strand here. So you can see how this has filled out. So again, we're just separating the two, and then we're doing these last ones. And then there we go. There's our beard. Give him a good shake out. If you need to reposition some things just to let it fill in a little bit more. And that's something that you can play with, you know, for a while. And that there, so that's your beard. So the next we're going to go on to putting the hat together. So I've got my hot glue gun already heated up. And the next step is we are going to just very simply do a bead right across here. And I find doing one at a time is the best. We're going to line it up about to where the bottom is. Give that a bit of a smooth. Fold this up. And then we'll do another bead of glue just along here. Be careful, the glue is very hot. You'll be able to feel it through there a little bit. And maybe I'll do just another strip up above here, because I did do it a little bit low. There we go. So we have that guy on there. And just keep an eye, because you'll find that you go through your glue sticks. And a trick that I learned from somebody is when you run out, put a little bit of glue on that stick, put it in, and the two that are in there tend to adhere to each other a little better, and you'll find that you'll have a little more success with your glue gun there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start looking at positioning our hat. So I'll just turn it over here so you can see there is a little bit of an overlap that's happening with these guys. So that's what we're going to be working on for gluing. So I just want to make sure that I've got a good position here. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be putting the nose up in underneath here. So we've got a little bit of an overlap onto the bearding that's there. So we've got that guy pretty much positioned. Let's turn him over. And you can see from this side here too, just about where you're at. With that, and then I find the best is just putting some glue here, get that started, come over, and of course you'll just add extra wherever you feel you need to have a little bit more. And again, be very careful with your fingers, because this is very warm. Just like that piece I just put my hand into. So, and then I think this frame, I'm finding it wants to pull to one side. So just make sure that you've got enough of an overlap on both sides to have it come over. There we go. A little bit more down here. And just take your time with this, no big rush. And I'm going to go over here to the other side just to get that kind of evened up here. So you can give it a little bit of stretch if you need to. Because we left that black tinsel on, we'll have something that's going to add a little bit of fullness even if we give it a little bit of a stretch here. Just give that a second to set. And then we can add some more. There we go. And we will continue up. So I think your hats I made a little bit more generous than what this guy is. So, because this particular frame has a bit of a curve to it. So I'm just doing a little bit of extra stretching for this one. There we go. We're almost there. Get some on this lower part. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, it doesn't have to be perfect. Each one is going to be unique in its own way. That's the beauty of crafting. And then we're going to kind of shape our top here a little bit. So for some of you might have a significant bit of extra fabric. So I tried to make it so for some of them you had a bit of a flip on it. This one here is a little bit smaller, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this one and just have it go right to the back. Again, that's what makes it unique. It's not a carbon copy of every other one that's out there. And that. So there we go, you got your hat on there. Play with that a bit more after. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your nose and we're just going to try and fit it onto kind of this black bar that is in here. And I like to shape the fabric a little bit around the nose. So first I'm going to adhere a little glue here to just hold that guy into place. And then I'm going to put a little bit of a dab or a little strip up top here around and I am going to shape the fabric around that. And you can put a little bit onto the sides, just really to fill it in. Just hold it for a second. That one there too. Just be careful of your fingers. So there we go, we've got that guy on there. So we're gonna pull the accessories you've got out of your bag. Like I said, each one is a little bit different. There should be a little kind of crystal star that you're gonna see as well that's in there. So I found that it was kind of neat to just put this bigger guy. Some of you have trees. Some of you, I'm not sure what the other thing was that was in there. Something different. So that'll be what's kind of going to be at the top of your hat there. And then again, this is just personal choice as to how you're going to place this stuff here. So you might want to do a little bit of a play with it here first and decide how you want to build it up. So I think I'll put this guy here on first. I'll just get a good gob of glue there. And then put this guy in here next. Just keep an eye on your glue stick because it'll start getting empty here. There's that guy. And a good bob on there. Put that one on in. And you can certainly put a little glue behind some of these leaves if you want to. I'm just going to grab another glue stick, put a little dab on the end, and pop it back in there. There we go. I want to have this guy sit back a little bit more. So you can have it a bit more down onto the fur if you want to, a little bit more over. And then I've got some pine cones. I'm gonna add in here. That guy. Put another one right here. And another little piece of something. Stick them down here. And last but not least is we have some little snowflakes, so you can decide where you want to put it. Down over here is kind of nice. You can put it up in the center here. I think I'm going to put this one down here. Just add a little bit of sparkle to that area that's down here. There's that guy on there. And that is pretty much it. So there is your Christmas gnome. I will just show you some other options that you can do with this. If you decide that you want to try and do some more of these, Halloween is pretty much finished up, and at the time these were the closest shape I could find to doing these gnome guys. But these guys work super well also. And so taking off the bottom here like we did on the other one, you can pull off this Merry Christmas, and that's something that you'll be able to put across, say, your hat. That'll go on it. You can get hats that are already pre-made, so you can have that be what your hat part is going to be, and you can decorate that. And then you need one of these mops. You just pull the strings through it, and if you want to use the whole mop to fill it in, that's your choice. But that just gives you some other options for what's out in the stores right now to pick up for supplies if you want to do some more of these. So I hope you really enjoyed this craft, and hope to see you again soon.